And so now the next steps, everyone here is just the beginning of a huge future. This thing, once we get it going and we start putting them in space, you know, solar up there lasts at least 50 years, okay? If you do it right, at least 50 years. So if you keep doing that and you evolve it, it could be a century. So the goal here is everyone in here will probably be hiring a ton of people in the future, okay? My 10-year plan says 2,000 people, just about. It's 1,800, but it'll be more than that. It doesn't include installation. That's a whole different world. That's like 1 million people. So everyone in here, I'd like you to, after you learn this stuff, start looking at, geez, who would I hire for me, you know? And then build up the team to make this happen. Of course, a lot of the intellectual properties have to remain ours because China gets a hold of it, or anyone with the Islamic bad people, you know, it's too dangerous. We can't let it be shared because we can vaporize anything in the world at any time with this technology. So, anyway, and then I love this quote because it makes sense. Everyone in here I called or contacted and I said, throughout my career, and then also on the link of all the people that you see on that list, that's just the starting point of people I think should be involved at the start, okay? So it's like, and it's from the Bible, and by the way, this will be a Christian type of organization. I hope you don't mind, but I believe in God, and I believe because He gave me the vision of this when my mother died, I got it all in detail. So I know exactly what to do, where to do, in every nth degree of detail. So,
amen.
It's true. So I believe in this statement. Just like, remember, John the Baptist and the other people? When He created you before you were even in your mom's womb, you know? So it said, you did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit. Fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, Jesus Christ, my Father, will give you. As I've noticed, now that this thing is now time, every time I'm doing something and I have a concern, boom, it comes up and it's already done. It's like everything is already there, step by step. So it's amazing how when it's the right time, things actually, all the ducks fall in your row. So it is time. It's been long enough. So anyway, so this is a 4-phase approach. The product scaling of it is really important because you got to do one before you can do the next. So for instance, this right, oh, let me go back here. The economical growth and evolution. We got to do the Insta-Grid proof of concept. The very first thing we do, within 6 months or less. If you have to fly all over the darn country, if not the world, we need every piece of manufacturing or piece of product to do the proof of concept, no matter what. That's the hardcore thing that has to be done within 6 months, period. Insta-Grid proof of concept. And then we have to keep engineering it to make this Insta-Grid a great consumer product and safe. Us that do airplanes and spaceships, we know that the safety requirements are really stringent. So, you know, that's no big deal for us that are used to it. Protect the grid. The one that was most important to Donald Trump and his administration is protect the grid because it can be used to, it's bulletproof shielding and nuclear hardening. So if they set off an EMP up above, it wouldn't knock out your power. And you could shoot bullets at it. Like in California, they shot bullets at the transformers up in Sacramento and shut off the place for 3 days. Okay? This prevents all of that. Now, of course, they say, okay, can you make structure behind it? Of course, you can wrap any structure with this stuff. We could even make it that way. We can make it so you can use balloons or some, you know, I don't care, Legos, build a damn structure. You know, there's so many ways to do structure. So, and do it rapidly. It's got to be rapid. Like you push a button and boom, it pops up and there it is. That's what it should be. So we got to think of everything. But this, oh, sorry guys. I didn't know I was pushing buttons while I was yapping with you. Okay, so the protector grid, as you read, you know, there'll be LED lights in it so you can illuminate inside and so on. And the power stars, very important that we, so these two have to happen first. This POC first, that makes this. These will be both started in the first year for engineering and systems requirements. And then power star, Probably in the second year we'll start that one, because that's really, really important, and you got to get going, but you can't get going until this one's done. Power Star can't be done until this one's done, because you got solar flares in outer space, so you need to know how to do that first, and that's this one. So then we can copy off of the requirements for that one and just expand on them. Right, Jay? If we're going to do space, you can expand on it and just put it into other NASA requirements. And then, our ultimate goal, based on what Dr. Paul Werbo said, is only go after 10% of the world's energy. 10% of the world's energy is almost $2 trillion a year, okay? And then, by the time we're launched and we're up there, it'll be more than that, because the evolution of countries like China is going to keep evolving. Africa and India, they're going to evolve and need more energy. The production of making things for a larger population, that's going to require more. If we do this, they don't need to build more power plants. They haven't built new power plants in America since the 70s, early 70s. So this takes care of the problem and the headaches. So, now here's the other cool thing, is threat defense. This system, because it converts microwave and can transmit microwave retrodirectively, which means once it sees this object, it knows exactly by bouncing it, and you'll see in here how to do that. I don't know if I put it or not. Maybe I did. Anyways, it's reverse acoustics, but it's retrodirected microwave transmission. It'll be in your knowledge base later. Anyway, there's a guy, his name is Mike Coyote Smith. He's with the Air Force Space Command Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Dr. Hyland showed him the entire concept in his patent and said, okay, we want to knock out asteroids and near-Earth objects from wiping out this planet or wiping out the human species. So what would we do? So they found that this system, one of the power stars, could vaporize a 20 metric ton asteroid. Well, the Air Force agreed with his equations and the numbers were right on the money. So that's good, he's good at math. He's a quantum physics teacher, so he should be. Anyway, the good thing is, but Coyote Smith goes, you know what you got here? I'll never need to buy another fighter jet, a bomber, or build missiles. I can vaporize anything, anytime, at any place. I can vaporize my entire fleet at any time, anywhere, at any place. He says, you're totally changing the game here. So, knowing that, we want to use that to our advantage. And I do that on a consumer level at a lower level first, so it can go later. Now, I'm going to take a break here so I can get to the next one. If you guys need to use the restroom, right behind you is other restrooms, okay? So, don't...
They didn't ask for down here, I'll take it.
Pardon me?
They didn't ask for
Escort? Dawn? Dawn and Kyle? Okay. Hi. Yeah, help yourself, man. So anyway, and the other thing...
Hey, Walter!
Since this does microwaves...
Walter!
Weather is all based on microwaves, okay? There's a frequency to rain, snow, sleet, everything, okay? Inevitably, when we have enough up there, we can start manipulating and controlling weather and get rid of tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, droughts. So, you'll see them later. Space travel. If we're going to go to Mars, we should have these up there, way out in geo-orbit and on the other side of the moon, so that way we can communicate and put them as far as you want, man. And then you can bounce them, energy to each other, and communicate with each other. And wherever you got your energy, you can always put it to another one and concentrate it and send it to the space vehicle that's traveling. They have a space electromagnetic propulsion now from Boeing. Now if we can send them all the energy in the world and they don't have to have it, they just collect it, we beam it to them like a tracker beam. Now they can go to the speeds as fast as they want. The only thing is slowing down, right, so they don't pass the planet. That's the only problem. Then the other thing is desalination. There's so much water in this world, it should be no problem to just power down and desalinate. Okay, we got to take care of humans first. So here's what it is. Insta-Grid, 5 years, it's going to be $180 million minimum. It's really about something, I got some billion-dollar numbers in there for the whole market. But in 5 years, we better have the product profitable. And then the grid system, this is going to be converted to like 5 years because that's the most important thing to Trump. And if we have to bring the money from the people on on the right side of the scale, to the left side, once we do the proof of concept, then we'll just have to get more funding, which something of this magnitude is no big deal. And then the first power star, knock a couple years off of this. And then within 15 years to have them all up there, and this is typically what it costs. The revenue is in trillions, it's 2 trillion here. This is the cost. So these are cost numbers, and this is time cycles. So like I said here, sales on these are 10 times. So whatever you see here per cost, the sales will be 10 times that. And that's a 50% profit level too. So here's a time scale. This is going to be year 1, halfway through 2017. Based on everything I know at this moment in time, I said the business plan in 2 weeks. So probably in May, and I'm going to put a hard date here. May 26th is the day that we'll have a contract signed for the building and start hiring people and start putting some people on payroll to get this thing going. Systems engineering is the most important thing right away. Getting our systems, also everything that makes, we'll have to do procedures and materials, processes, and procedures will have to be created as we evolve it and make it. So that has to start up. So there's so much work that has to be done in the paperwork world and able to be legitimate in the ISO 9000 decency. You got to do it that way. So that's what we'll be starting, before the summer. And of course it keeps going on. This is your market for Insta-Grid. Protected grid, 1.8 trillion. There's about 7,000 grid power plants or grid centers in the United States. The one right over there is considered one. Okay, there's almost 7,000 across the U.S. And able to do that. Now, I put the cost for manufacturing, which is almost all automated, as mostly automated as possible. It'll be with heavy-duty engineering, research and development, and labs, and certification. Other than that, manufacturing will be as automated as humanly possible. We're going to try to get the humans out of the process completely. So, because we're working with electronics and stuff that shouldn't be screwed up. Don't want people's fingers on this stuff. So, and then the space power thing, that's a 20 billion. We're going to put up 3 right away. Okay, the goal is to launch and at least have it set up so in 5 years we can get a launch date set. Okay, and we're going to launch 3 at a time. 1 out of the 3 will have the capability for defense. Okay, which means it'll be, it could be an assault weapon if it needed to be. But we're going to have one, at least one of them will be that way. The other 2, and you want 3 up there anyway, so they can manipulate and communicate with each other. And then the other one is the other 10. So, I actually have, when I originally presented this, I looked at the numbers, I said, okay, 20% efficiency, which you'll see later, that's a low number. It will take about 50 satellites in low Earth orbit, about 50 in medium Earth orbit, okay, at 25. And then above the 25,000 miles is your geo orbit, which means it doesn't move with the Earth, it just follows. So, and you'll need about 300 up there. Probably by the time we get to the 300, our efficiencies will be up and our improvements of how we do things will be up, so it'll probably turn into 2. But my goal was at least 400 satellites. So that way we can do more than the 10% that we talk about, but we're going to be conservative in our numbers. Because we're going to not just use it for energy. We're going to use it for communication, but we're also going to use it for defense and other stuff. So this is the basics of it. Okay, so what you have is you have a printed solar cell photovoltaic, which is, you'll see the materials in it later on or on another sheet I have. And then you have, first what you do is you manufacture this substrate, whether it be a composite fiber, and then you'll print the photovoltaic on top. And then you also do the patch antennas, which is this one here, the transmitters, transceivers. And then this is a transmitter here. This is co-populated, and this one's where it's separated from each other. There's 4 different options of how to manufacture it, okay? So, and then this right here would be like your PCB type thing. So, and then it would be this kind of fabric material, but it's coated so environmental effects don't matter to it. Like this is an earth material, so it can be used on anything, like a bimini top over the ocean, on Duffy boat or something, that's perfect for it. Of course, the space stuff, we'll have to play with that. And of course, the protector grid will be bulletproof, which means it has Kevlar and some carbon and different things in it. So this is the roll-to-roll process for manufacturing. As I said, and, this is just coating it and putting it together. We will audit, this is one that's already in existence. In Australia, they make, what is it, something like 2 meters per second of solar cells in a roll-to-roll process right now. So when we asked to do this, and theirs are really short ones. For manufacturing references, we're going to do it like a carpet manufacturer. We're going to do 3 foot as the smallest, 6 foot as a norm, and 12 foot. I think the roll of a 12 foot is your normal carpet.
Yes.
Okay, well then that's what our big one is going to be. So the modular equipment that we manufacture with the 3D printing, with the rails, I'll have to snap together, and they'll be able to do 12, and then they'll probably have multiple heads on the same slide unit, just to handle that type of output on a roll-to-roll process. And there might be a forward and an aft for it on the same. So, but we have to do it really smart. Roll-to-roll as automated as possible. You don't see any people working on these equipment. So, oh, this is what it used to be in 2010. They have an updated video on this. So, this is basically what our products are, how we're going to make money. Okay, basically we provide the engineering solutions. Because we're going to be a raw material manufacturer on our proprietary material, we'll work with, say the Army comes to us and says, okay, we need tents to do this. Okay, we have all our fuel trucks as they come in and out are getting nailed, right? They're hitting them with grenade launchers and stuff. We want to wrap a fuel tank for our military with your material that can vaporize a missile as it comes at it. That's electromagnetic armor, which I know how to do. Well, if we have that, that's this right here, provide engineering solutions. We'll